Okay, let's unpack this. Just think about the sheer amount of data everywhere today. It's
Yeah,
overwhelming.
it
Right?
really is.
Yep.
It's not just growing, it's exploding.
And it lives everywhere.
Yeah.
In your office data center, maybe one cloud, maybe two, maybe like multiple different public clouds.
Scattered all over.
And the puzzle is,
Hmm.
how do you keep all that data safe? How do you make sure you can actually get to it when you need it? Keep it fast for your apps.
And yeah, do it all without the cost just going through the roof.
Exactly. It feels like trying to manage this massive library where the books double every year, half are here, half are somewhere else entirely.
That feeling, that chaos across different locations, that's the big headache for businesses now. You need solid infrastructure to handle that.
Right. And that's exactly where companies that specialize in data infrastructure step in. So today, we're doing a deep dive into one of the key players here, NetApp.
Yeah, NetApp. We've gathered quite a few sources for this study guide, some historical stuff, recent briefing docs. Our goal isn't just, listing facts. We want to cut through the jargon and really get to what matters.
Absolutely. We want to figure out not just what NetApp does, but how they tackle this huge problem of data being everywhere, why their main technology is important, and critically, why you should care if you're trying to navigate this hybrid multi-cloud world.
Think of this as your shortcut to understanding a really foundational bit of enterprise IT.
Okay, so NetApp at its core.
Right. So NetApp Inc., it's an American data infrastructure company, started way back in 1992.
92, wow.
Yeah, by David Hitz, James Lau, and Michael Malcolm. They were actually called Network Appliance Inc. back then.
Network Appliance, I remember that name.
Yeah, they switched to NetApp Inc. in 2008, still headquartered out in San Jose, California.
Okay, so a long history in enterprise tech. What was the original problem they tried to solve, and how's that changed with, cloud and data exploding?
Well, originally it was very much about network-attached storage NAS. That was a big need as companies digitized more. But yeah, their mission has definitely broadened. Today, their core business is really about unified data storage, integrated data services, and cloud operations, CloudOps solution.
CloudOps, okay.
And they mainly work with big enterprise customers, but the basic idea is still helping organizations manage and use their data effectively. The big difference now is the wherever it lives part.
Okay.
Their solutions are built to work across your own data centers and multiple clouds.
So that hybrid and multi-cloud capability isn't just tacked on, it's like fundamental.
Exactly. In today's world where data isn't just in one building, their whole strategy revolves around managing it seamlessly across all those places. That's a key differentiator for them.
Okay, that makes sense. So if managing data everywhere is the goal, what's the tech that lets them do that? What's the engine driving this?
Okay, that brings us squarely to ONTAP.
ONTAP.
Yep. ONTAP is NetApp's own proprietary data management operating system. It's absolutely central to everything they offer. Think of it as the brains managing the storage.
Why is this OS so important? What makes it stand out?
Because it provides all the essential tools you need for managing data, well, really in any environment. The sources talk a lot about its core features. Things like snapshots.
Snapshots, like point-in-time copies.
Exactly. Super fast copies of your data so you can recover quickly from, say, an accidental delete or even a ransomware hit.
Okay, crucial.
Then there's replication, making copies in other locations for disaster recovery or just to have data closer to users somewhere else.
Right.
ONTAP also does intelligent data tiering, so it automatically moves less used data to cheaper storage.
Optimizing costs.
Totally. It's not just about storing data, it's about organizing it and protecting it smartly.
Makes sense.
And critically, ONTAP has powerful efficiency features built in. Things like thin provisioning, only using space when data is actually written.
Okay.
Deduplication, getting rid of duplicate copies of the same data block. And compression, obviously, shrinking the data size.
So all that works together to reduce how much physical storage you actually need.
Exactly, which saves money and physical space, a big deal when data's growing like crazy.
Yeah, no kidding.
And here's a really key part where ONTAP bridges the gap. It offers a single way to manage everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, whether your data's on a NetApp box in your data center or running on NetApp tech in AWS or Azure, you can use the same tools.
That simplifies things massively for IT teams.
Hugely.
Done.
Less complexity. And for security, the systems running on ONTAP also have multiple layers of data encryption built in.
That unified view must be a godsend when you're juggling infrastructure in different buildings and different clouds. So how does ONTAP actually reach into those big public clouds like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud?
Right. This is where their hybrid and multi-cloud strategy gets really concrete. They offer a few main ways to use ONTAP power in the cloud. One is called Cloud Volumes ONTAP, or CVO.
CVO.
This is basically their enterprise storage software that you deploy yourself directly inside your cloud account, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. It gives you all those ONTAP features we talked about, snapshots, replication, efficiency, but running natively in the cloud.
Got it. So it's ONTAP software running in the cloud.
Correct. But they also partner really closely with the cloud providers for what the sources call native cloud integration.
Native integrations.
Yeah. These are services that use NetApp's ONTAP tech under the hood, but they're offered and managed by the cloud provider. Like it's part of their service catalog.
Oh, okay. Examples.
Think Azure NetApp files or Amazon FSx for NetApp ONTAP or Google Cloud NetApp volumes. To you, the user, it feels like a native cloud service, but it's got that enterprise-grade ONTAP stuff powering it.
Okay, so you've got choices. CVO, where you manage the ONTAP instance yourself in the cloud, or these deeply embedded services that feel like part of the cloud platform itself, covers the bases.
Exactly. It gives companies flexibility based on their strategy and how they want to consume cloud stuff.
And speaking of consumption, they also have their Keystone portfolio.
Keystone.
Yeah, that's their storage as a service SaaS offering. It lets you pay for NetApp infrastructure through flexible subscription models, whether it's on-prem or cloud, takes away some of the hardware management hassle.
Okay, subscription-based storage. Got it. So we've got the ONTP, how it works across hybrid and multi-cloud, different ways to buy it. What else is in the NetApp toolbox for specific problems?
Yeah, beyond ONTAP and its cloud versions, they have a wider range of kit. For really high-performance stuff, there's All-Flash FAS or AFS system.
All Flash for speed?
Yep, purpose-built using flash storage for those apps that need data fast.
Right, those critical ones.
Exactly. They also do Converged Infrastructure FlexPod. That's a partnership with Cisco.
FlexPod, yeah.
It bundles compute, networking, and storage into pre-tested systems. Makes deploying complex IT stacks simpler.
Kind of like getting a pre-built kit instead of all the separate pieces. Precisely. Faster, more reliable deployments. And a really important piece now is NetApp BlueXP.
BlueXP.
Think of it as the unified control plane. Remember managing data everywhere from one place? BlueXP is designed to be that single screen for managing your NetApp stuff, whether it's on-prem in AWS, Azure, Google Cloud.
Wow. So BlueXP is like the command center for all this distributed NetApp gear and services.
You got it. It helps with visibility, optimizing workloads, automation, and importantly, enhanced ransomware protection.
Ransomware protection. How so?
Well, the sources mention it has features that let you actually simulate ransomware attacks and practice your recovery steps.
Wow. Simulate an attack to test your defenses. That's actually really smart.
Yeah, it's a direct answer to, one of the biggest threats out there today.
Yeah.
Validating your defenses is crucial.
Absolutely.
They also have things like Max Data, which is a performance accelerator. It gives ultra-low latency access for reads and writes, boosting performance for those super critical tiered 0 apps.
Tier 0, like the absolute most critical.
Yeah, think financial trading systems, real-time analytics, where every microsecond counts, making the fastest data even faster.
Gotcha.
And for dealing with just massive amounts of unstructured data, documents, images, videos, backups, they have storage majority.
Storage majority. Object storage.
Exactly. Their object storage solution. It helps manage costs and workflows by intelligently moving data across different storage tiers based on policies you set.
Okay, so it sounds like a pretty complete toolkit, all aimed at managing, protecting, optimizing data wherever it is, whatever it is, with ONTAP and BlueXP as the sort of central nervous system.
That's a good way to put it.
So given all that, why do companies actually choose NetApp? What are the main advantages making them stand out?
The sources consistently point to a few key things.
Yeah.
First, and probably foremost, is that recognized strength in seamless data management across hybrid and multi-cloud.
That consistent theme again.
It really is foundational for them. Being able to handle data the same way in your data center and across different clouds is huge.
Makes sense. Yeah. What else?
Second, just the power and relative simplicity of their data management, driven by ONTAP and controlled through BlueXP. They aim to simplify complex stuff.
Right.
Third, performance and scalability. The AFF systems deliver speed, and NetApp systems are generally known for being able to scale up, add more performance or capacity without taking things offline, non-disruptively.
Yeah, non-disruptive scaling is a massive win for IT operations. No downtime.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Then cost savings, those efficiency features we talked about.
Deduplication, compression, thin provisioning.
Right. And the tiering in storage you read. They can seriously cut down the amount of physical storage you need. The sources even mention a claim that cloud volumes on ONTAP's efficiency features can cut storage footprint and cost by up to 70%.
70%. Wow, that's potentially massive savings for companies drowning in data.
It can be a game changer. Security is another big one.
Uh-huh.
The multiple encryption layers on ONTAP help meet compliance rules, and BlueXP's advanced ransomware protection, including that simulation feature, offers really important peace of mind.
Yeah, you can't overstate the importance of security today.
Definitely not. And finally, just overall operational efficiency. Things like the non-disruptive operations, support for all the major storage protocols so you can consolidate workloads, deep integration with stuff like VMware. It all makes life easier for IT.
And some users noted good customer support too.
Yeah, that came up in some of the material as well, so you put all that together.
And you see why they're a major player. The sources also mentioned their industry position, right? Like Gartner recognizing them as a leader.
That's right. That kind of external validation just backs up the capabilities and market presence.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. We've just done a pretty deep dive into NetApp. We've looked at their history, the absolute core role of their ONTAP operating system, their big strategic focus on letting companies manage data seamlessly across hybrid and multi-cloud setups.
And the key advantages they bring, cost savings, performance, crucial security like ransomware protection, operational efficiency.
Right. So you should now have a much clearer idea of one of the companies building that critical, often invisible plumbing that supports so much of our digital world.
They're helping organizations manage, secure, and actually use the vast amounts of data that drive, well, pretty much everything from your streaming services to complex business insights.
So as data just keeps exploding,
Yep.
and it lives everywhere from, the phone in your hand to distant clouds, and threats like ransomware just keep getting smarter. Maybe think about this. How fundamentally dependent are the organizations you rely on every day? Your bank, your job, your favorite online shop. How dependent are they on having reliable, efficient, adaptable data infrastructure like the kind NetApp offers?
That's a good question.
What are those hidden layers of technology like this stuff that you might bump into next, quietly making sure the data you need is always there, safe, and ready to go?